The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has a problem, and it's actually quite a big problem, and something the developers Aspyr have actually just responded to.
It's not over until the fat Wookiee sings.
If somehow you've missed the news, Disney and Aspyr have decided to re-release the original Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 from 2004 and 5 as the Battlefront Classic Collection pack, which combines both games into one and also adds a bunch of the DLC content you've likely never played before, that I think very few people have played, considering it was only available through the Xbox Live DLC. And how many people actually had Xbox Live back in 2006?
Can't play this game, man. Get out of the tank and then we'll see who wins.
So with this re-release coming to both PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, PC, and the Nintendo Switch, overwhelmingly, the response to the re-release has been quite positive from fans. Everyone's happy to see their favorite childhood games coming back with an upscaled resolution and hopefully improved gameplay. And yes, this is another Star Wars re-release like the many we've had in recent years, such as Republic Commando, Star Wars Racer, the Knights of the Old Republic games, and hopefully it makes up for some of the negativity surrounding the recently cancelled Star Wars first-person shooter game that was being developed by Respawn Entertainment. And if you want to feel sad about the current state of Star Wars gaming, then I recommend you go watch my video all about that. After you watch this, there's a link to it in the description. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. So the problem with the Battlefront Classic Collection has actually caused a bit of a stir on the internet in the past few days, and it regards some community-made modded content. It's also directly linked to the Battlefront 2 DLC, which is coming as part of this game, as part of the final version of this game. There's no DLC for this.
EA Sports.
It's in the game. But before that, if you have any questions about the Battlefront Classic Collection, please leave them in the comments. I'm hoping to make another video answering all of them, because I've seen some people are a bit confused about what this game is actually going to look like, how different it is to the originals, and if it's worth the $50 price tag. That's how much it is here in Australia anyway. For two games combined that are over 20 years old and are currently available for like $2.50 on Steam, something ridiculously cheap, it does seem, I think, a little bit unreasonable to be re-releasing this for a much higher price tag. I do think part of the price tag is justified though, so let me know if you think it's worth the $50 or $35 or wherever you are in the world, however much it costs, in the comments below.
Yes, master.
So let's talk about this missing content in Battlefront 2 that a lot of people seem to have a problem with, and I think is a major problem. So like I mentioned before, the Battlefront Classic Collection is coming with some additional content for Battlefront 2 that you've likely never played before. They include the heroes Asajj Ventress and Kit Fisto, and also 4 maps being Cloud City, Renvar Harbor, Renvar Citadel, and the Yavin 4 Arena. Now, because Asajj Ventress and Kit Fisto were only available for the original Xbox console through Xbox Live as a free DLC download, the only way anyone else who didn't have this edition of the game and didn't have the DLC was able to play with the DLC was through mods on PC. And it wasn't until quite recently that the modded characters were available to play on PC. In 2021, the modder I Am a Shaman was able to bring the original DLC characters into the PC version of Battlefront 2 through a mod, however with a bit of a difference. It wasn't the actual DLC pack. It was more just a reskin of 2 characters, being Ayla Secura for Asajj Ventress's animations, and Kit Fisto used Ki-Adi-Mundi's animations.
Watch that lightsaber!
In the original Xbox version of the DLC, the 2 characters, Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress, had their own unique animations. For example, Asajj Ventress had a unique fiber cord linked twin lightsaber, and Ki-Adi-Mundi also had this unique ability called Force Orb, where he'd throw this bubble at enemies. And as far as I know, these weren't included in the mod. Now, where the Battlefront Classic Collection gets involved, it seems like Aspyr has taken this modder's work, these reskins, and use them in the Battlefront Classic Collection. You'll see here at certain parts of the trailer, Asajj Ventress is holding her lightsabers like Ayla Secura, and isn't using the Link sabers that was included in the original game's DLC. But what's worse about this is that the modder actually updated the mod to make it a lot more like the original DLC, and that it seems Aspyr are using an older version of the mod for the Battlefront Classic Collection's build. So at this point in time, it seemed like Aspyr were using this modder's work, first of all without crediting him, but also not even using the most updated version of the mod, which is disappointing considering pretty much everyone who played the original Battlefront games and didn't get to experience this DLC was excited to finally get to play as Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress in the original Battlefront 2. Something I've never done before, because I never had an Xbox, never had Xbox Live DLC, and I haven't actually tried out the mod. Regardless of all this, the modder said he's personally flattered and overjoyed that something I created was even shown in something official Star Wars, and that he did actually release the source code for the mod for the reason to allow anyone to add it into a game and use it for themselves. So Aspyr have clearly done that at some point in development and are using this modder's work.
Coincidence? I think not!
However, thankfully, this controversy gained some traction online. The modder contacted Aspyr himself, and then also IGN made this article, which drew some attention to the issue. And because of this, Aspyr directly responded to IGN with a statement clearing the air about what's going on here. They said, "We'd like to thank the passionate Star Wars Battlefront community for bringing this to our attention. When capturing placeholder footage for our announcement trailer last fall, we mistakenly included content that is not in the product, and that mistake made it into the final cut. The upcoming release of Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection does not include any code or content that is taken from uncredited sources." So this footage that you're seeing in the trailer where Asajj Ventress has the incorrect animations, which were taken from this mod, is old. Apparently Aspyr outsourced development of this trailer to a third-party company, and it was filmed quite some time ago before what is going to be the final version of this game, which I think does include the official content that was from the Xbox Live DLC. The modder I Am a Shaman also updated his post regarding this, saying that Aspyr simply used his content and his mods for testing, and it was replaced after the trailer's recording and with the official pandemic content. So, guys, great news.
Good news, everyone!
We are actually going to get to play as the official Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress from the original DLC, along with those 4 maps. It does, however, seem a bit strange that they would use the mod for testing. I guess at an early stage of development when they hadn't ported the original Xbox versions of these characters and animations into the game, they just wanted to run some testing, and I guess this is what made it into the trailer. It's funny that the trailer was actually filmed such a long time ago though, before these animations made it into the game. Overall though, it's a huge relief they're actually using the official content.
The rebels have scored!
But there is a little bit more controversy surrounding this game, and unfortunately it has to do with how it's played. It's almost become industry standard for online multiplayer games nowadays to have cross-play, to be able to play with your friends on Xbox if you're on PlayStation, and also play with PC. You know, Fortnite has this, and it does seem a bit strange that they would go to the effort of reviving this multiplayer Star Wars Battlefront old school game without adding cross-play. The game does have cross-gen platform play, meaning if you're on PS5 you can play with PS4 players, if you're on Xbox Series you can play with Xbox One players, but beyond that, cross-play doesn't exist. The video I made the other day about the Battlefront Classic Collection has more comments than any of my other recent videos, and a lot of them are about cross-play. Some of you are even going as far as saying it's a deal breaker, the fact there's no cross-play, because it affects the longevity of this game. If cross-play was included, you'd likely still be able to find online games for the Battlefront Classic Collection long into the future after hype around this game has died down. It's a bit concerning that they didn't go to the effort of including it in the game. It's likely never going to come to the game. They don't really update that kind of thing later into development. This game isn't going to have a live service, but I guess at least there won't be advantages and disadvantages to playing with certain devices on certain consoles. For example, controller users won't have to get frustrated when they're constantly getting sniped by mouse and keyboard PC users.
Just like the simulation.
That said, I still think some parts of the online of this game are going to be pretty broken in kind of a fun way, and that'll be part of the fun. For example, certain heroes are definitely going to be OP. Darth Vader especially, characters that have ridiculous abilities, force abilities, are just going to be able to devastate multiple enemies all at once. But that's kind of the fun of the kitsch and jankiness of these old school games. You're not playing it as a competitive online game, it's more just for a bit of fun. And I don't really think they had that kind of balancing in mind when they were originally developing this in the mid-2000s. Grenade spam is also a huge part of these old Battlefront games and is kind of part of what makes it fun. You're constantly just flying all around the map, so don't be frustrated if you end up spending most of your time playing the online of this just rolling around. But like I said, if you have any questions about the Classic Collection, let me know in the comments. I'll try and get to them as soon as possible. And if you want to learn more about the cancelled first-person shooter from Respawn, then watch this video here. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more updates. I'm also on TikTok and Discord. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.